What is our purpose? That's what we're talking about today in this faith chat. In the last faith chat called Why Do We Exist? We talked about that God made us. The reason God made us is because he desired to have sons and daughters. He thought that you and I were such a good idea that he wanted to make us. And it was all about relationship, a son and a daughter, a relationship with God the Father. And so that was last time we talked about that's the reason we exist. Now today I want to talk about what is our purpose. Like, if that's the why, if the why is to be in relationship with God and to be sons and daughters, then what did God make us to do? What is the doing part? What is the what of the reason we were created? So to do that, we're just going to, again, go back to Genesis chapter 1. And I'm just going to read a little passage and let's just explore it together. So Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 and 28, they will be right here on the screen. Let's check it out. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky and over the livestock and over the wild animals and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So over all the animals, he made us he made us in his image, in his likeness, to rule over all the animals. Verse 27. So God created mankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. So just to be clear, boys, it is not all about being men. It is mankind, which is man and woman together, humanity. So God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky and over every living creature that moves along the ground." And so let's just highlight some of those bits. So we were made like God. We were made in his image. Why? It says, so that they may rule. So we were made similar to, like God, in his image, whatever that means. That can mean a bunch of different things, maybe a different faith chat. But we were made like him so that we may rule. Okay? So we were made to rule. And we were made like God. And I think that means we carry his authority. So just much like a prince and a princess have the authority of being in the royal family, they don't have as much authority as the king or as the queen. Okay? They don't have as much authority as the king and the queen, but they still have so much more authority than everyone else who lives there in the kingdom, right? So I believe that is kind of what we're looking at here. God is still powerful. God is still sovereign. God is still God. But we, as his children, were given his authority to rule over the world. The second part was be fruitful and multiply. And that means populate the earth. Okay, that means have lots of babies and to fill the earth. And that means also take your rule over all of the earth. And subdue it is another word there. So subdue means to bring under your control. And that means you have dominion over it. It means you have charge over it. You have rule over it. So we were to fill the earth and take the rule, the authority that he's given us, all over the earth. Okay, so let me just flesh that out a little bit. The Garden of Eden, that God planted and made for Adam and Eve's home, it would have been beautiful. It would have had a sense of order to it. God would have created things in such a way that everything just works, and it would have looked beautiful, and it would have functioned really well. And so part of his mandate to us was to take the order that they would have enjoyed in the Garden of Eden and take it to the rest of the world and subdue it. And it's funny when I think of rule, you know, and subjugation, like over animals especially. I kind of think of things like Tarzan, and I think of things like George of the Jungle, you know, where they actually live in harmony, and they're kind of the king and they live in charge, you know. Was that too much? Okay, we're back. So we're to take the rule and subdue over the earth. That is the what we were supposed to get about. And you know what? I believe we were supposed to do it in partnership with God. The Bible's very clear where it talks about God in physical form coming and hanging out with Adam and Eve every day. And I believe he would have taught them how to do lots of things. He would have taught them how to do, like, I can't even imagine all the different things he may have taught them. But when you look through archaeology, like, they had fantastic technology back way thousands and thousands of years ago. There's so much evidence of great technology. And I believe, I suspect, that actually comes out of direct knowledge from God passed to mankind. He would have been teaching them how to do stuff, which is really fantastic. So let's recap for a minute. Why do we exist? We exist because God thought that you and I were a great idea. Wow, that is really cool. And so God made sons and daughters, us, humanity, as his sons and daughters, because he thought we were a good idea. He made the earth, and in fact the whole universe, as our home. And then he gave us charge over it. He gave us rule over it. And he said, look, you're in charge. Now, can I just remind you what I said? Like, God is still powerful. God is still sovereign. Now, sovereign means that God has the power and the authority to intervene at any point as he deems necessary, as he wants to. Whatever he wants to do, he still can do. He is still God. But he gave this place to us. That is what he gave us. It is our home. So why then is the world so messed up? You know what? That is a great question that maybe we'll explore in the next Faith Chat. Thanks, guys. See you later.